Hello, I'm Arif Farudin, welcoming you to another Asian Agribiz podcast. The Indonesian duck egg industry has been stagnant for some time, or perhaps with very small growth. This is because the demand has been very stable. However, future opportunities are wide open for domestic and international markets. My colleague Meliana talks with Dr. Hardi Prasetyo, a consultant for duck breeding companies in the country, about the industry's status and growth opportunities.
Hello, Dr. Hardi. Thank you for being here. Today, we will talk about layer duck industry in Indonesia. However, before we start, please tell me about yourself.
Hello, my name is Hardi Prasetyo, and I was a senior research scientist at the Indonesian Research Institute for Animal Production in Bogor until 2016 when I retired. My main research interest was in duck genetics and breeding. Currently, I'm a consultant for duck breeding with some private companies in Indonesia.
Thanks, Dr. Hardy. The duck industry is promising since per capita consumption of eggs is still low, offering potential for growth and improvement. However, only a few players are investing in breeding and production, even though demand has surpassed supply. So, what can you tell us about the industry status? Has it grown or been stagnant? If it has been stagnant, what are the causes?
Okay, for duck egg industry, it has been stagnant for some time, or perhaps with a very small growth. It is mainly because the demand has been very stable. The main product is in the form of salted eggs, and only a small proportion is for fresh consumption. Recently, a slight increase in the demand for salted eggs is for making salted eggs sauce used in seafood menu or other dishes.
So if we compare it to the chicken egg industry, is the duck industry still far behind, Doctor?
Yes, duck industry is still far behind the modern chicken industry, but it is comparable though to the development of kampung or native chicken industry in Indonesia. For duck egg industry, it is still dominated by backyard and small-scale farmers. Also with small-scale traditional breeding farms in the production centers. There have been only a few large-scale commercial farms with more modern breeding farms in Java with their own production of commercial strain of layer DO ducklings.
Speaking of strain, Doctor, what duck strains are currently available?
Yes, for layer ducks, there are several local strains which have been developed locally by farmers in several regions of Indonesia, and they are distinguished by their geographical locations, such as Tegal, Alapiu, Mojosari ducks, and also we have some local strains in West Sumatra. There is also a hybrid strain developed by the Research Institute called Master Agrinak with a higher egg productivity, which is about 11% higher. Several breeding farms are also producing commercial strains of layer ducks, but their products are yet to be released. It has been distributed in the market, but officially these products are not released yet through the ministerial decree.
Okay. Doctor, what do farmers need to raise duck? Maybe this simple question.
No, yeah, the question is simple, but the answers are not that simple. For layer farmers, raising ducks for egg production really requires skill and experiences in handling the birds. It's simply because laying ducks are very sensitive to environmental factors causing stress. See, layer ducks, when they are at the laying stage, they are very prone to this stress causing factors. The main source of stress is feed and location of the farms. Layer ducts require consistent feed quality and quantity, as well as feed composition. So if there is a need to change the feed composition, it should be done gradually. So there should be no sudden change in feed or feed composition, especially when they are under full confinement and in a large flock size. Disturbance may also come from noise and random lighting in the surrounding area. Laying ducks, when they are surrounded by housing or residential housings, then they are usually prone to noise or random lighting in the evenings, and it may cause some stresses to the layer ducks. Layer duck farming is a long-term farming activity with at least 1 year production period. And eggs are relatively easy to market. However, since it's a long-term activity, it requires a good financial management because at the end of the production cycle, farmers must have enough saving for their flock replacement in order for the production to be sustainable. See, the egg production curve is not flat, but it increases rapidly in the first 3 months and reach the peak of about 90 or even more, over 90% of production. Farmers which are not careful, they might spend the large profit during this peak period. But later on, when the curve started to go down, then they have only smaller amount of savings that they receive from selling the eggs. So by the end of the period, farmers must have enough saving in order to purchase the next flocks for the new production cycle. Therefore, despite a steady flow of income, farmers must maintain a financial balance during the 1 year production cycle.
Thank you, Doctor. So, do you think demand for eggs in Indonesia will continue to grow? And if so, how will the producer keep up with demand? And what the other potential market locally?
Okay, the demand for duck eggs, I'm optimistic, will remain steady and possibly with only small growth unless we can compete in the international market. There is a company in Karawang who has been successful in exporting salted eggs to Singapore. Initially, they have a very large problem in terms of quality of the produce. However, now they can improve their production system and it can pass the requirement to export to Singapore. However, it's not that easy. And some other companies have also started without any success yet. The main constraint in exporting duck eggs is in the quality of eggs. And this is mainly because farmers still pay less attention on the hygienic and sanitary aspects of their production system. As I mentioned before that layer ducks are still dominated by small operation farmers. Therefore, they still not concerned enough about their condition of the eggs being produced. With education and better understanding of these aspects, farmers may produce better quality eggs and may meet the international standard. And then we may see the increase in the production of duck eggs in Indonesia. Yes.
Okay, yeah. The next question, Doctor. You mentioned that duckling is still in short supply, challenging the industry. What are the other challenges the industry faces?
Yes. First of all, the supply of TOD. Yes, only a few large commercial breeding farms are still uh, in production, and some more commercial breeding farms are still in the process of improving the quality and quantity of the old ducks to meet demand. Hopefully, in the next 4 or 5 years, the supply will be able to meet the rapidly increasing demand. In terms of farming management, actually, uh, some people may think that it's more difficult than chicken. But the facts are that there are enough information available from both local and international research results, which might be applicable to local situations. So, in terms of farm management, farm procedure, farm housing, there are enough information which are ready to apply with probably with only small adjustment to the local condition. And also nutrient requirements. Information from research results are abundantly available. Also in terms of feed and feeding aspects, and also diseases control. Specifically for disease control, medication and other procedures are already available so that farmers can readily apply this technology. Another challenge to the industry is in the hatchery. In general, right now, the hatchability rate of duck eggs is still lower than that of chicken eggs. It's simply because in, in the setting of temperature and humidity level, they are more delicate for duck hatching process. Therefore, the quality of the incubators and the environmental settings are crucial in establishing hatchery units for ducks. Some companies who have been successful in improving the hatchability, they have to spend at least 2 to 3 years to learn and to obtain the exact setting that is required. Because of the environmental factors and so different from one place to another in Indonesia, therefore, in each location, the breeding company must find out for their, for themselves the correct setting in each hatchery unit.
Okay. Doctor, what are the future opportunities for the industry? What should producers do for the industry to grow? Are duck egg export possible, not only from producers in Karawang, as you mentioned?
Yeah. Well, yes, future opportunities are wide open, both for domestic or international markets. For layer farmers, intensification of the production system must be improved for better quality breeding stocks, better hygienic and sanitary procedures, and standardization of the products. Right now, layer farmers, they just simply produce eggs. There's not enough standard in terms of size, weight, or the shell color. And as I mentioned, in terms of hygienic and sanitary quality of the eggs, they're not concerned yet. And these are the main concerns for us to be able to export overseas.
Interesting. Anything else you want to add, Doctor?
Well, the only thing that I'm still concerned right now is with this growing market. The producers and government agencies right now have not really developed regulations for standardization of the products. Farmers just produce eggs without concern at all the quality of their products. So I think while the industry is still in the growing phase, producers and government agencies should start developing regulation which regulate quality with minimum standards, both for domestic market and for international market. Currently, there are only regulations concerning good breeding practices and good management practices available for duck farming.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Hardi, for talking with me today.
Well, thank you. And I feel honored to have the opportunity to take a very small part in the development of duck industry in Indonesia.
I hope that you take some valuable information from this episode. Thank you for listening in. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel on Spotify, Apple Music, or wherever you get your podcasts. For more information on the Asian animal protein industry, please visit www.asian-agribiz.com.